for joining us at Nothing But Real Life. Today, oh my word. Today I am here with my sister and we are doing a little getaway. This is Becca. Hi, Becca. And we decided to get away for a little bit with our husbands. And we had some work to do on a houseboat at Lake Powell, and we decided to make a little getaway out of it. So today we're going to talk about how to get your life together and do some self-care. It's important for single people that get busy with work and kids and life and family and everything else that happens. It is also very important for married couples to get away. Even if you feel like you can't, make sure that you take some time to get away, and we're going to talk about how you can do that. I have to say that there are a lot of parents out there that feel like they cannot leave their kids, that it's there's too much going on, there's too much trauma and drama and craziness, that it's just not something they can do, and they put themselves on the back burner. And it is so important to understand that when you are getting overwhelmed with life and everything, that you are no good for anybody, that you're going to be way better at handling all that life throws at you if you can take some time for yourself. I know that we talked to a friend that noticed that me and Adam do this a lot. We make sure to take time for us and for each other to work on our relationship and take a break for us. And she said, I can't tell you, she's actually a therapist and sees a lot of families that have adopted kids and foster kids, and she said, I can't tell you how many of the parents feel like they can't leave because their kids are going through some things. Really, that is so key when you have high stress in your life, to really make sure that you take time to get away. It's going to be so much better for your family than thinking that you can't leave. So guess what? The drama will always be there when you come home, so just take a break from it and know that it might be chaotic while you're gone, and you might have to do, I know for us, our kids always act out way more when we get back, but we can totally take care of it, and we feel that we're rejuvenated, and you know what? We'll just deal with it. So
yeah, and it's okay to miss a soccer game or an appointment here or there, because if it makes you that much better of a person, taking that time for yourself, because we all have busy, full scheduled lives, and it's okay to say no and miss that stuff every once in a while.
And that is such a huge key, is saying no. So many people out there cannot say no, and they just keep taking on more and more. Make sure that you remember that you are only you, and you can only do your best, and sometimes you just have to say no. That is really important when you're talking about self-care. Okay, if you have kids and you feel like it's way too hard to find babysitters to get away, something that you can do is find someone to trade with. Maybe you do every other month, and one of the months you watch their kids, and the next month they watch your kids. I know you guys have done that.
Yeah, so I have 4 kids and one on the way, and with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, they live near us. We traded times with them about that, every other month. And so we would have an entire weekend where our kids would go to their house, and so that me and my husband could have that time together. And then the next month, her kids would come to my house, and it was so needed and just the perfect situation. So if you have a family member or a neighbor or someone that you trust, that you can swap that, you don't feel guilty leaving your kids with someone else, because you know that next month you'll watch their kids. So it's been a really great thing. We actually don't even go on a vacation sometimes. We'll just stay at home and go do date nights all over the town, and it's just been a really great experience.
Awesome. So another thing is, maybe you don't have anyone you can trade with. There are actually companies out there that do background checks, have people that are hired. One of the websites is care.com. Have you ever used that or looked into that?
Yeah, I have.
So that is a way that you can find someone to watch your kids. Another thing, that if maybe you have kids that are a little bit more challenging like we do, you can reach out to local foster families. They've been trained in, CPR, they've been trained in behavioral things, and that is another way. It's very inexpensive it's called respite. So it's very inexpensive to do respite. Maybe your family needs a higher level of care. That's a way that you can have someone to watch your kids. So reach out to a local foster family that maybe will do respite for you, and see if that is a way that you can get away for a little bit too. Okay, we've talked a little bit about what you can do if you have kids that you need to have babysitters for. We're also going to talk about some of the activities that you can do. Some people have a little bit of a travel budget, some don't. What we did on this trip is we went somewhere locally. We just got in the car and drove, 5 hours? 4 hours, 5 hours? What?
Local is 5 hours away.
Yeah, because you were still in the
Local is in the valley, like.
Okay, that's like a staycation. We stayed in our state. How about that? We stayed in our state, got in a car, and drove about 5 hours and ended up here. It is away from home, but not too far. Another thing that you can do that is really inexpensive and that is close to home or far away is you can check out Airbnb or VRBO. They have different price ranges you can compare, find something that's in your budget, but then you are getting away, not being at your house, and you're able to kind of, get away for a really inexpensive budget. Or you can, they have tree houses that are expensive that you can go find, or yurts or things like that.
We love camping, so that's usually pretty inexpensive too. So me and my husband would just pack up our tent and supplies and head off locally and have a little adventure too. It is hard sometimes to stay at home because you can very easily get caught up in projects at home, even if you don't have your kids with you. And so yes, getting away is a good idea.
Also, another tip that we have as you are getting away is maybe plan ahead. Make sure that if you've taken the time to find a place for your kids, that you also take the time to plan some activities or some low relaxing activities. So you have an idea of something that you did with your husband.
When you take these little getaways with your significant other, sometimes you do have to make that effort to reconnect because you just get so busy with life. And so something that we've done that I've enjoyed is I'll plan ahead and look up online and make a list of just fun get to know you questions. And that's always been a really good thing where, it'll just take us off on subjects and we'll just talk for hours about just different things that you wouldn't have normally talked about instead of the same topic of kids and work, and so it's good to get different ideas.
Some of them are prying questions too. Like, how do you learn that about each other?
Right.
So
that's something that we enjoy doing to really reconnect with each other because communication is huge in a relationship.
Okay, so what is something that you found out about your husband Jared that was like totally weird or crazy that you would never have known? I know.
Put me on the spot
I
here.
know. Okay, you think about it. I know something that I found out about Adam that I was like, really? Is he cannot stand styrofoam. It is like a fear he has. He can't touch it. He can't hear the noise of it. He hates styrofoam. So unless he was touching styrofoam or something, that is not something that I would normally know about him. So you might find out some really odd things that you had no idea about.
It's true. One of my favorites is like, if you were just handed $1 million, what would you do with it? Questions like that where you really see, who they are and what their loves and desires, and it's just really fun to reconnect that way.
I think too, you might find out a lot about yourself. That if you are asked some of those random questions that you wouldn't know, that might be a fun thing to learn about yourself too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, another thing that is important is, remember, this is a self-care time for both you or your significant other. Make sure you relax. Don't pack everything so full of activities that you are exhausted after it, because that is not the point to this. So, I mean, sometimes you might even want to binge watch Netflix, or, you know, just
take a nap.
Yeah. You know, stay in and do some takeout wherever you're staying, and just kind of relax and rejuvenate your life. And that is a great time to talk too, is when you're just relaxing, not really doing anything. So
yeah, I agree.
Okay, we just talked about
It's everything you guys just said.
what?
Everything.
Okay, so our husbands are in the background, and we just asked them what is a guy's version of a getaway. We don't even have to say it. You could probably guess what they said. When we're talking about getting away, let's talk about getting away. So often when we get away, we're so hooked to these that we might lose sight of each other just because of these. So if you can, put your phone away. Get off the social media for a little bit.
Turn
and
off
just,
the games.
Yeah.
Like, just disconnect from all of that. That's very important.
I keep spitting. I just noticed. Earlier I was spitting too. Another thing when you're talking about getting away is get away from the daily life conversations. You talk about kids, you talk about finances, you talk about jobs, you talk about all that stuff. Put that stuff away. I think someone's pulling out on their boat. Just focus on going back to an adolescent state where, you know, as a teenager, date again. What are some playful, fun things that, you know, you did as a teenager that you could kind of revert back to? It's okay to be immature together.
Yeah.
And
play games. Do those different things that you wouldn't normally do with each other on your normal routine.
yeah, just kind of be carefree.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fun people can be when they're just carefree and they take the stresses off for a little bit. You know what? They'll still be there. Just put them away for a little bit.
It's very rejuvenating.
Yeah.
You can just be yourself again.
If there's certain things that you know really uplift you and help you, I know for both of us, we love being out in nature. So this is a perfect backdrop for us that we can come and be in nature. Last night, me and Adam went out and looked at the stars together, and that was fun. You know, do things that you enjoy. So if it's nature, do that. If it's a play, go to a play together.
Yeah. Something that's very calming and will let you just unwind.
I think we're done. We're gonna go take a nap now.
We're gonna go self-care with our spouses.
Whatever.
They say whatever. They're working right now. Uh-oh, here comes Jared. I'm scared. What do you want to say? We love his hair. He needs some self-care on his hair.
Hi.
You got a little something right there.
This is what I get away with and helps me to find some peace in life.
Ew.
I might be my breath. I haven't brushed my teeth.
You stink.
Here.
Wow.
Let me admire the view.
Oh,
Oh!
cut that out.
Oh, it's pointing at me.
That's mine.
But he stinks right now.
Yeah, this is what you get away with, sweetie, right?
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that's not awkward.
She loves me.
Jump in, jump over the side.
Your
Oh.
phone's out. Cut that out too.
Oh my. Remember we talked about being a teenager again, being immature together?
Yep.
All right, so make sure you take some time together as a couple. If you're single, get away on your own. And it doesn't have to be all the time, just a few times a year. Make sure you take some time for yourself. And thanks for joining us at Nothing But Real Life.
See ya.
Bye.